Well, we found a nice quiet spot this morning, and as we are listening into this letter, I don't want you to lose sight of the idea that the culture of the Roman world, where the church was thriving, was a culture of paganism and immorality, far worse than what we have today here in the United States. So the context is is pretty important because when I read this passage here in Romans chapter 13, my heart says, "No, wait a minute. You know, they lived in a different time in a different place, and it's true. They did. But their authorities, their rulers were openly immoral sexually. They were openly pagan religiously, and their conversion to Christ had had just begun, and this conversion was a result of the Christians in the Roman Empire living such extraordinarily different lives in contrast to the natural, normal culture. So now, when we read here in verses 4 and 5, for rulers are not a cause of fear for good behavior, but for evil. Do you want to have no fear of authority? Do what is good, and you will have praise from the same. For it is a minister of God to you for good. But if you do what is evil, be afraid, for it does not bear the sword for nothing, for it is a minister of God, an avenger who brings wrath on the one who practices evil. I get to spend some time with our local police department, and I appreciate their willingness to kind of stand in the way, to serve those of us that are out in the public, the citizens, by bearing the sword. As a kind of a colloquial phrase, the idea is our police officers, our authorities, have weapons for good reasons. And the, the role that they play is defined by the God who gave them the authority that they have. They're carrying his authority. We looked at that a little bit yesterday. And if you are doing good, then you should have no fear of evil. If the authorities are exercising their God-given office in a manner that pleases God, those who do good find reward and blessing, and those who do evil find God's wrath coming down upon them. So, as Christians, it is imperative, it is a command that we submit to authority as unto Christ himself. That was yesterday's idea. We recognize the authority, whether it's exercised righteously or not. We still recognize that it is God's authority. And so we submit to authority because God said to submit to authority. It's his servant to bless those who do good, and it's his avenger to bring his wrath down upon those who do evil. So refresh the idea in your thinking that because you're a Christian, because you are obedient to Christ, and he says, submit to authority, we'll submit to authority. And again, I'll say, do I like it? No, I don't. It's not my natural preference, but it is my God-given blessing. And I recognize that the authorities are God's gift to me and to you. And therefore, we submit to them. We submit to them because we love Jesus. We submit to them because we honor Christ. We confess that his word and his perspective and his commands are righteous and true, and they're good, and they're like honey and nourishment to our souls. So we are obedient to him. Because we're obedient to him, we submit to authority. And we do that all because we love him, and we love him because he first loved us. Remember, God loves you, and we love you too.